I'm going to tell you what's going to happen with property prices this year, and I'm going to tell you why. The information real estate buyers most want is where to buy for superior capital growth, both in the short term and in the long term. The problem for investors is that the research companies and the media don't tell us that. They tell us what's recently happened with property prices. They inform us about the past. And while that may be interesting, it doesn't provide us with the really key information, and that is what will happen with prices in the future. And that's where hot spotting comes in. Our proven methodology has a track record of predicting the future successfully and often. And one of our core techniques is used to create the best of our stable of reports, the Price Predictor Index. The underlying principle is really simple but wonderfully effective. We don't spend our time charting price movements, we devote our resources to following what's happening with sales volumes, the number of sales in each location, and whether they're rising, flatlining or falling. Experience tells us that sales activity is a forward indicator of what will happen with prices. And the new winter edition of the report provides important clues about which markets are rising and which ones are falling. So here are some of the key pieces of market intelligence that our new analysis provides. One is that the Perth boom has likely peaked, and we urge caution for the many investors diving into this market after 3 years of big price growth. Another is that Melbourne prices will perform a lot better in 2024 than they did in the past 2 years. A third piece of market intelligence is that some of the regional markets have stepped up as likely national leaders on price growth in the next 12 months, and they include places like the Wollongong region, including in particular the Shoalhaven local government area, Gladstone in central Queensland, and Albury-Wodonga at the New South Wales-Victoria border. Another piece of information that came out of the report analysis is that smaller capital cities, which have been weak lately, are showing solid signs of recovery and will do better in the next year, including both Darwin and Canberra. Some of the iconic markets which had spectacular booms up to 2022 and have been in a correction phase since then are now showing signs of moving into their next upcycle. And those places include Byron Bay, the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, and the Mornington Peninsula in Victoria. And other former boom markets that look to be heading into another period of growth include the aforementioned Albury-Wodonga, Ballarat and Bendigo in Victoria, Hervey Bay in Queensland, and Launceston in Tasmania. Apartment markets in good locations in our biggest cities continue to attract buyers in large numbers with improved capital growth performance. They include the Sydney City local government area and the nearby Inner West municipality, which are amongst the standouts amongst the apartment markets. The winter edition of the Price Predictor Index has other priceless intel, including the national top 50 supercharged suburbs list, the 50 most consistent growth markets in the nation, the 10 leading local government areas in Australia, and also for the first time, the 50 worst declining markets, the ones to avoid. And from these lists, we nominate the number one best supercharged suburb, the nation's most consistent location, which is delivering big price growth, and the worst place to buy right now. And if you want to know what they are, you'll need to get a copy of the report.